that's correct.
So as a collective, how many properties would you say that you have under your name, be it you own it, you manage it, or you have some sort of affiliation with that is yielding you at the moment?
I'll say altogether about 28.
About 28 properties?
Yeah, 28 properties.
Come on, man.
As you know, guys, my name is Kore&Susie. I'm a property investor based in London, and this is the final tour. So let's go.
Hello guys, what's going on? So I know today's a different kind of setup. I have with me someone who does not look like Susan. And of course, for those of you who are aware, congratulations to us, myself and Susan. We're expecting a baby, and you know, Susan's pregnant, so therefore she is not here with us today. She really wanted to be here, but you know how it is, like, you know. So yeah, it does not make sense. So she's at home resting. However, with the intention of our channel from day one, it's always been to bring in, you know, knowledge to people who perhaps maybe might not have access to this knowledge. You know, Susan and I were in our early 20s when we were looking for a property to purchase, didn't have anybody to speak to. So therefore we started documenting our journey and sharing information with people. We've reached a stage now where, you know, a lot of this information is out there now, and you know, people essentially come to us to get information these days for when they're about to embark on their own journey. So for that reason, we have decided to bring in on board more people who are within the property journey and also the journey of wealth and building wealth in life in general. And with us, we have an amazing property investor who goes by the name of Moise Yusuf.
Yes, yeah. Saying it with the African accent as well.
I have to say it for the Yusuf, you know, see, do you know what I mean? In fact, if you look at it, say Al-Haji Yusuf. You know? But yeah, you know, so just tell us a bit about yourself, who you are.
Yes.
And yeah, just introduce yourself, bro.
Yeah, thank you for that introduction, and thank you for having me
Man,
on
welcome,
your channel as
More
well.
than welcome.
So yeah, my name is Moise Yusuf. It's an Arabic name, and a lot of people find it difficult to pronounce the first one, but you've done that perfect. Thank you. So yeah, property investor based in London, been investing in property for over 10 years now, and yeah, just very active in the property industry the last sort of 4 or 5 years. And I'm just basically out here buying properties, doing refurbishments. And I've been active on social media quite recently, sort of posting my journey, because it's key, you know, in terms of representation within our community, so people can understand that it's possible to actually do this as well.
Before we actually go in deep into your story and who you are as a person, you've just recently done a project.
That's correct,
And you've converted, was it a 3-bedroom?
So it was a 4-bed, in the terrace property, and we converted it into a 6-bed.
Talk us about that property. So, how was it? Because I saw you also posted the figures on Instagram as well. And to be honest with you, that was one thing that also you know, initiated this talk that we're having in the first place. Because of course it did. You did pop into my radar from before then. But this then of course made me realize, hold on, now you need to definitely get this guy on the channel. So talk us through. You did share some numbers on that property. So I'm sure you wouldn't mind sharing numbers on it at the moment.
100%. Yeah. So that property, I purchased that during the lockdown. Actually, as you know, during the pandemic, a lot of things happened. Everyone got affected. I got affected with it as well, in terms of like certain businesses and stuff like that. So the money wasn't coming in as it used to. So you have 2 options: either you bury your head in the sand, or you level up. So I had to level up. So the opportunity was there to purchase property. It's a bit of a story. I'll try and rush through it really quickly. So it's a thing where I help somebody in the property journey. So as I'm doing my thing, people reach out to me, and someone who I knew wanted to get into property and do certain things in it. So I sort of guided them on that journey. And now she was doing her thing, you know, doing really well in it.
Yeah.
And these opportunities came
Yeah.
to manage this property in general.
Yeah.
So she came to me with the, you know, the opportunity. I said, okay, cool. I'll take it on board.
Yeah.
Spoke to the landlord and sort of found out that there was money issues there.
Yeah.
So I had that conversation that actually I would like to buy this property.
Yeah.
If you're interested.
Right. So by having that conversation with the landlord directly, so this is off the market.
Yeah.
Were you able to secure a better deal by doing so?
100%.
There we go.
100%. There's no way I would have got it for the price I got it for.
Right. So you got it for, how much was it you got it for?
So 437k.
437.
Yeah.
And you put in how much into refurbishing it?
Basically about 125k.
About 125, so about how much in now? Like 500 and...
something,
I know past maths. I know past maths.
I mean, something,
so 500 and something in at the moment, and it's been revalued at how much?
825k.
825k. That is amazing.
I'm doing an 80% loan to value as well.
80% loan to value, and so at the moment, funny enough, we're actually meant to be filming at this property at the moment, but it's fully tenanted out at the moment.
Yeah.
So, which is absolutely amazing. Congratulations to that.
Thank you.
Because it's yielding, also in the post as well, you shared it's using about 5,000. Well, not about. It is yielding £5,000 per calendar month.
That's correct.
Which is once again absolutely amazing.
No, thank you.
So well done to that. So tell us once again about yourself. Like, what got you started into property? Like, you know, you did mention that you were young at the time when you first got into property. But
that's
what
correct.
led you to it? Like, what? Just tell us a bit about your background.
Yeah, so a bit about my background is that I was born in Nigeria. Yeah. I came at the age of 2. Yeah. Mum and dad, and we was in Peckham for maybe a couple of months.
That's Ed.
Pet them, and then we moved to Camberwell. So Camberwell for me is home. So it doesn't matter where I live now or wherever I go, Camberwell is always home. So grew up in Camberwell. You know, 2-bedroom flat, and those who know the high-rise buildings was in one of those. So 3 brothers, mum, dad. So you can really see that it's very congested. And being Nigerian, you know, your mum, dad's brothers and sisters want to come down and set up life down here. So they will give a helping hand. Yeah,
of course.
And they're meant to stay for maybe 3 months.
Yeah, they'll be there for like 5 years.
Exactly.
5 years, still got that uncle living in the living room.
Exactly. So, you know, I think at a certain point there was probably about 10 people in the house.
10 people in the house.
But you just make it work. And for us, it was normal. Yeah. You know, it was actually fun, to be fair, as well, just to, you know, have that amount of people in there and do what you're doing. But I guess sort of watching certain TV shows or seeing certain things, and even just going to school as well, and just, you know, talking to your mates, and they're going into big houses and stuff like that, and you're thinking, damn, you know.
Not even that alone, like you're going to school and they're telling them, oh yeah, I got sent to my room. Like, fam, you got a room.
Yeah.
You're like,
that's
bro,
what I'm saying.
You got a room to yourself, like the whole room
that's
to
what
you.
I'm saying. That's what I'm
Mad.
saying. So
now I'm with you, man.
Yeah. So, and I think it's a thing where I just wanted to be able to purchase something, and you know, and
so at the time, did you have anyone like holding your hand, guiding you into doing it? Like, just did you have? Because relatively, you've said you've been doing it for about 10 years. Back then, YouTube wasn't big when it comes to typing in how do I get my first profit. Like, there was none of those things.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like at that age, what was, you know, where were you at? Like, do you know what I mean, what was your head at the time? Yeah,
so like you mentioned, there was no social media like that. So in terms of that representation or people that are actually doing, you can see it all the time. Yeah. So I would love to say that there was someone there to hold my hand, but there was no one there. Yeah. Because I didn't see anyone that I could relate to get information from. Yeah. So it was a thing where, you know, watching TV shows like Home Under the Hammer and stuff like that, it sort of brought something out of me. Yeah. And in terms of like my school days, I've always been someone that's always been into arts and sports. So I'm a creative person in general. So even the whole property thing, there's that creative element to it as well. Taking a property, doing something to it, changing it up, you are converting it into what it is.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think everything that I've sort of done within my life has always had that sort of creative element to it. Yeah.
Cool.
So and I just know, I knew that you can't lose
with property.
Right. Do you understand?
Right.
So
your first deal, talk us through your first deal.
Yeah.
What was that?
So the first deal was a 2-bedroom flat in Lewisham, southeast London.
How much was that at the time?
So that was, I always forget this, about 145 or 147.
Let's say 147.
Yeah, 147.
Right? And how much was it worth at the time when you got it?
At the time, it was worth about 250. Yeah.
So it was worth 250. So basically, that's like 50% off, basically.
Basically.
What?
Yeah.
How did you come about that? Like, you got a property worth 250 for 145 or 147.
Yeah.
How?
Yeah. So what I would say is, when I was looking, I was active. I was out there looking, and this one literally came on the market.
Yeah.
Not no, direct to vendor. I was on the market.
Yeah.
I went to go and see it, and as soon as I went in there, the space, I was like, 100%, I'm getting this.
Right.
And
that's some intuition right there,
Yeah, exactly.
For that young age, for you to actually be already thinking, this space and all that, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
Nice.
And the thing is, it's a thing where, obviously before I put the offer, I'm doing a bit more research and stuff thinking, wow, like, everything else is this. And then obviously understanding that it's a repossession. I didn't know what repossession property was at that time.
So just learning as you went along with it.
So I knew that I had a great deal here.
Yeah.
And this is definitely going to set me up, in the future.
Right.
And it's a gold mine. That makes sense.
That's brilliant. Brilliant. So since then, what did you then do? Because clearly, if you're getting it for 50%, in this day and age, like you and I would know, boom, if you get it for 50%, do it up to a decent standard, add some more value onto it, or get it to the maximum value that it could possibly be, and remortgage it, pull your money out, go into the next one. That's what you and I would do in this day and age. But what did you do back then?
I didn't do that.
You did?
I didn't do that. So, I guess this is why education is so important. I didn't know about that. My mindset was still stuck in a certain place where I had this idea in my head that I'm going to pay this off in about 4 years. I'm going to own it outright. And any property I do get, I'm going to own it outright. Because I'm going to be that guy. Do you understand? So,
for those of you who don't know, right, it's not always, this was the last vlog that Susan and I did, and it was touching on the topic of owning properties outright. Susan and I, we lived in our last property for 4 years, and we were at a stage whereby it was a crossroads, either pay it all off completely or reinvest and just own, more properties. And we decided to go along that avenue. And it's not really advised to own a property outright because it's just too much equity within one property, and it's not serving you as well as your money could be serving you in multiple properties.
100%. And I feel like, especially when you're still active right now, and there's things to be investing in, it's dead money just sitting there.
You mentioned when we were talking as well off camera that you got another property after that one. So you raised up new finance for that property. Mad. So how long did that take you though?
I think it took me about a year.
A year to raise up the new finance, which isn't bad. That's all right. So where did you get that one then?
Brixton.
You got the second one in Brixton. How was that deal? How was that one?
So Brixton, that was a great deal as well, to be fair. And this is where, so I bought the first property.
Wait, first of all, what took from Lewisham to Brixton? Like, that's why. That's what, do you know what I mean? That's literally, like, if you're from road, like, that's complete different ends right there. Do you get me? So what took you from Lewisham, to Brixton? Like, what was that transition? Like, you skipped Peckham,
I know. I wish I bought in Peckham actually, to be fair.
Same there.
But so it's just where the opportunity was at the time. And the great thing about that is I bought the first property. So now, within my clique and people around me, I'm the first one to buy.
Right.
So now I'm known as the guy that bought property. So I'm now sort of networking, talking to certain people and stuff like that.
Right.
And come across this great deal in Brixton.
Yeah.
Even at the time, I could have bought 3 at the time.
Right.
but I was looking at the money and all this other stuff.
You was a bit scared, was you?
Yeah. I was scared. I was thinking, bro, like,
I don't want to overcommit.
Exactly. I'm buying this one,
Yeah.
and I could have bought another 2.
Yeah.
Let me just buy this one.
Yeah.
Let me give it about 6 months, and then. Obviously, looking back now.
I know, but then again, you don't know. You never know what can happen.
Exactly.
Where I'm coming from.
Exactly.
So you're better off at a position whereby, like, if you can sleep at night, then that's the best thing, to be honest.
Exactly.
So no, I'm with you.
Sorry.
No. Going to Brixton, right?
Yeah.
Like, did you foresee that Brixton was going to be as it is right now, like with that much interest, that much buzz, you know, did you see that happening to Brixton, or was it just the opportunity is there, my money is safe there, so I'll just leave my money there for the time being?
Yeah. So, in terms of where Brixton is right now, I didn't see that, but I was seeing, obviously, I can see that Brixton was going up.
Yeah.
But where it is now is crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So that even that property now is doubled in value easily. Do you understand? And it comes back to the same thing. I wish I bought more in the area.
That's the thing.
Exactly. but at the same time, that's now taught me a lesson in terms of, okay, whether I do invest now, let me do my research. What's going to happen 5 years from now or 2 years from now in that area? Then I know that there's going to be natural growth in that area as well. So then you start being a bit picky about the locations of where you're investing and stuff like that. So that's
brilliant. That's brilliant. So let's just skip a bit more. So from then on, so as it stands at the moment, how many have you got in your portfolio then?
So what I personally own, currently 7 properties that I personally own.
Right.
I was having.
No, come on, hold on, stop there. Let's pause there, right? Come on. So you own 7 properties in your portfolio. I think that alone actually deserves a like. Come on, that you have to. You gotta give him his flowers. Do you get me? You're relatively young. So you know where I'm coming from. Like, you came from the ends, from literally living in a 1-bedroom apartment with 2 bed. You have to.
Got it up a little bit more.
Well, from living in a 2-bedroom apartment where about 10 people and Uncle Kende, Uncle Atifuke.
Actually, I had Uncle Kende as well. And you know, was you there?
So you had the family all, you know, coming down to visit and stuff here, to being in this position. That deserves a round of applause.
I appreciate it.
That is amazing. That's really nice.
I appreciate it.
That's really amazing. So you did also mention that you have a management company as well.
That's correct,
Right, so talk us through that then.
Yeah, so I've got a management company where we manage properties for landlords who don't want to manage their properties. So the majority of those properties are, you know, the rent to rent, where you take a property. Let's say, for example, it's a 3-bed house with a separate lounge. We enter the lounge as a bedroom. We set a price for the landlord every single month, and we make our difference.
Right. So essentially, you let it from the landlord as a single let. And then you rent it out individual, like as in individual rooms.
That's correct.
Right. Cool. I got it.
All the right contracts in place. So it's great. Good for cash flow. That's generally what we do.
Brilliant. So you mentioned that you mentioned Camberwell. I'm quite familiar with Camberwell myself as well. So whereabouts in Camberwell? Did you school around Camberwell as well?
I went Sacred Heart. Sacred Heart School. It's a Catholic school. I know, it was the name. my parents, they done what they need to do. So I went Sacred Heart, and we lived on a street called Sultan Street. Right. And it was literally right behind Maka Ramsey. So funny
enough, I should mention I used to live in Loft Road in Camberwell. And the funny thing about that was, when I used to live there, that was the first house I moved into when we came to England. And we came to join, my sister and I came to join our parents, and we came into this house, and funny enough, we're actually sharing again with with other people as well.
So there you go.
Before we moved to Peckham.
That's
decent. So within your journey, right, did you get any help? Like, let's say for instance, your dad come to you and say, look, here is £40,000, begin the journey. Like, did you get like any financial help from your parents?
I wish I had financial help. But at the same time, the journey wouldn't be the same. You know, obviously, a helping hand is always great. But the help I did get, especially from my dad, in terms of the credit, when I was 18, he applied for a credit in my name. Right.
So your dad applied for a credit card in your name. Was it just yourself, or for your siblings also? Just you?
It's actually just for myself, actually. Right. I was the firstborn, so yeah.
Oh, you're the firstborn.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
I see. It makes sense.
It's just for myself. So apply for credit in my name.
Yeah.
I knew what was going on. It's not anything dodgy, anything like that. And he was sort of running it on my behalf, obviously paying it off monthly and stuff like that. But me not knowing that that's actually helping my credit in the background.
So your dad consciously was building your credit for you.
Exactly.
So when you got to, because you bought your first property at a relatively younger age, so when it got to that stage, you didn't have any issues with credit.
No, not
you
at all.
had a decent credit.
Yeah, exactly.
That's nice, man. Great ratings to your dad. Ratings to your dad. It was quite funny. Because with my one, it worked the opposite way to that actually. When I went to apply for my first mortgage, I had no credit. I hadn't gotten any credit whatsoever.
Wow.
Funny enough, I remember when I got my first telephone contract, didn't put it in my name, put it in my sister's name, because I was aware of credit and I just knew to myself that, look, I don't want to commit to something that has the possibility of stopping my chances in the future of getting, so if I don't live up to the commitment. However, funny enough, they actually liked that and they said to me, right, because you don't owe anybody, you've never owed anybody money, you have some money management going on, so therefore we'll give you, but we would have preferred it had you have had, a credit history. But no credit history is some sort of a credit history.
That's great.
Do you know what I mean?
That's great. So it worked in your favour.
Yeah, at least I wasn't on, any arrears or anything like that. So they liked that, they saw that. So what I want to ask you is, when you first got your first mortgage, how daunting was it for? I remember the feeling for myself, but for yourself, say for instance, we've got someone here who is watching, right? In as much as, yes, my channel also does attract a lot of seasoned, investors and, property owners. There are quite a lot of young people out there who are looking to embark on their first journey.
Yeah,
so with yourself, in comparison to the first property, and right now, as you said, the seventh property that you own, and you've done this massive project, how daunting was that process for you? What would you say has changed then and now? Clearly, of course, experience has helped you and helped you manage how anxious you do get and stuff like that. But, it's clearly something still must be there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so 100%.
How would you compare it?
I would say it's actually a lot harder now.
Right. Okay.
Getting more.
Why is that?
They just want more information. They literally want your whole life.
Yeah.
You understand? And I think with anyone sort of getting a mortgage, it can be wow that you want so much information about me, and it's a bit crazy. And it is as well. And I think this goes back to the whole sort of direct debit and everything like that. You don't want to put too much out there.
No,
do you?
Exactly.
You don't want to commit to too much.
Exactly.
Do you understand? So my first one was pretty straightforward, if I'll be honest with you.
Did you get a broker to do that for you?
Yeah, I got a broker. I got a broker. But at the same time as well, obviously now being more experienced, the brokers that I'm using now are, I'll say, a lot better, independent. They're brokers who have seen my journey. They're brokers who are also investors as well. Right. So they understand the process. I think that's a key thing as well, just to put out there that your broker and your solicitor has to be on point. And it'd be great if your broker and your solicitor also are property investors as well, so they understand the situation.
So do you use the same broker and solicitors for all of your property, or do you shop around?
So I have 2 brokers, and I have sort of 3 solicitors, depending on the project itself. Because with some solicitors, they might not be in the board for certain mortgages, so I might have to shop around. But with the brokers, they have all my information there. So as you know, when you go to a new broker, you have to fill out a fact find form, give so much information, it cuts all that out. I've got these 2 brokers that know everything about me, so when I want to come for something, they know what I have already.
Exactly.
They can tell me yes or no. I can pick up a phone and have a conversation straight away. I just prefer it that way.
Brilliant. So say for instance, we've got someone else who's watching right now and they don't have the funds to, go directly into a property on their own. Or property investment, but they've got, let's say, £30,000, £20,000 just sitting in a bank account, and it's eating them up on the inside that they're not doing anything with this money. What are the various ways would you say, or would you advise that they can already put that money to work with?
Perfect. That's a good question actually. So £30,000. The great thing about it is that there's so many different ways of making money in property now. And, you know, I think social media has definitely put that out there as well.
Yeah.
You know, you got the rent to rents.
Yeah.
You got the rent to essays.
Yeah.
You got the sourcing of properties.
Yeah.
And another thing which a lot of people don't really focus on is buying properties as a collective.
Right.
So there's always this, I want to do things on my own, but sometimes you can come as a collective and buy.
Yeah.
And that's the good way of sort of.
So someone that, I mean, you know, speaking as a novice, like let's say I'm just trying to play the devil's advocate, and someone comes in and says, what would be the benefit of me, you know, buying as a collective at the moment? You know what I mean? Say for instance, someone such as myself, I take pride in the properties that I own.
100%.
You know, like if say for instance we come as a collective, clearly I can't say, oh, I own that property. I would have to say I own that property along with so and so and so and so and so.
Exactly.
So what would you say financially are the financial benefits of doing it that way, or perhaps maybe the experience, or you know, that what would you say? So
what I would say is this. So for example, you know, coming into an industry like property investing, it's going to be scary because it's a lot of money and that you're putting down. So you can mitigate that risk by doing it with other people. Yes, you might not own the whole property itself, but you will generate some sort of cash flow, or maybe if you flip it, you generate more capital to add to your initial capital that you had before. So now you've got more capital. Now you can go and buy something else.
Or you can sell your shares, couldn't you?
Yeah, you can do that as well.
You can sell your shares of it and then take your money and move on.
100%.
Or if you decide to hold on, just benefit from the capital appreciation.
Exactly.
Right.
Either way, your money's working better for you than what it was before.
In the bank.
And plus you're learning as well.
I'm with you. I'm with you. No, that's brilliant. That's some good advice there. But so with yourself right now, so where are you going now? What's your next project? Because you've just finished on this big project you've got going at the moment. You've still got the properties that you manage on the rent to rent.
That's correct.
So as a collective, how many properties would you say that you have under your name? Be it you own it, you manage it, or you have some sort of affiliation with that is yielding you at the moment?
I'll say altogether about 28.
About 28 properties.
28 properties.
Come on, man. Come on. Are you dumb? No, ratings to that. Like I said, guys, look, if this is inspiring to you, it surely is inspiring to myself, and that's why I have him here today. Smash that like button, comment on the comment section. You know, within the comment section as well, you would find his social media handles as well. You can follow him, give him a follow on Instagram. You're only on Instagram, aren't you?
Mainly Instagram.
Yeah. So give him the follow on Instagram, and give this guy his flowers, man. There's so much you can learn from him, so much you can pick up from him, and you know there is a community of property investors who I also follow, and you know. I would love to bring them on this platform to share their knowledge and to share these gems, because it is amazing to see a young black man killing it the way that you are. And I say you're killing it, and you're still young. There is still more to go, as we've spoken about. So ratings to you, man.
No, I appreciate it.
All right. Right. Okay. So all this while we've been talking about all the positive side of property investing.
Yeah.
What would you say? You know, what has been your downfalls within properties, or your shortcomings? Like, what negative experiences have you had within property? Yeah,
that's a great question. I would say builders.
Right.
Builders being one of them.
I laugh, sorry. I have to laugh because you know one of my builders tried to fight me.
Seriously?
Wallahi, bro. This guy probably came up to my yard here, pulled up, beeping the probably trying to fight me, but no, so that's what I could relate.
Did you fight him?
No, I didn't fight him. Well, I'm going to go fight him. This guy was, when I say this guy was massive,
big,
but it would have got nasty. Because clearly, like, you know how it is, like, you know, especially if you come from the road, like, if it's way bigger than you, if it's wham or whatever, like, you got to get a tool. And that's when it gets all technical. You get me? So it's like, nah, I love it. But yeah, no, carry on.
Yeah, no, I would say builders has definitely up there.
Yeah.
And just sort of, you know, when you're sort of starting out, you were trying to go for the cheap option and the quick option as well. And those two things don't go well with each other. And I'm someone that I like things done a certain way. I'm a perfectionist.
Yeah, you've got to be.
Yeah, so, you know, further down the line, you sort of build a team. Yeah. And then gradually, you know, those things. I know the signs now.
Yeah.
Of a
so you say your shortcomings within property is just been builders. That's
no. Actually, to add to that,
so nothing major has happened.
No. To add to that, I would say time as well.
Right.
So even though you're saying that I'm killing it, yeah, I'm saying that's very hard on myself.
Yeah.
There's still so much to do.
Yeah.
And I feel like, so at the beginning I said that the last 4 years or 5 years is when I've been active in property.
Yeah. So prior to that, what had you been doing then prior to those years?
I've been buying properties.
Yeah.
But I won't say I was active.
Right.
I was just buying them to increase my income.
Yeah.
But I had my hands in different pies, you know.
So all this while you were buying properties, but you know you could have been doing more within the industry.
Exactly.
But you hadn't just pulled that trigger. So what was preventing you from pulling that? Because I know someone's watching right now. They're in the same situation. Maybe they own 2, 3, 4 properties and they're thinking to themselves,
amazing question.
I could be, they're at work, they're meant to be doing what they're doing at work, but they're on Rightmove, still going through deals.
Rightmove is amazing.
But they haven't pulled that trigger. Like, what was preventing you from pulling that trigger? And at what point did you pull the trigger that propelled you to where you are right now?
Yeah, so amazing question. And this is the thing. I was too comfortable. I was comfortable with the amount of money I was making.
Yeah.
You know, I was able to do anything I needed to do.
Yeah.
Money was an issue.
Yeah.
And it got to a point where, because I was also working full time as a teacher. I was a design technology teacher.
Right.
That was
my favourite teacher. You know?
Yeah. So still creative.
Yeah.
And head of department. So the money was good.
Yeah.
But it got to a point where I fell out of love with it. Not the teaching aspect. I enjoyed that, but the politics that went with it.
Yeah.
So I needed to get out.
Right.
And at that point is where I sort of decided that I'm done with this. Had my notice in.
Yeah.
And I'm doing this full time.
Right.
And a great question, which a lot of people asked, is when do I take that step to leave?
Yeah.
There's no right. Yeah. Because I was meant to leave a while back, but I was sort of saying, okay, I'm gonna wait until this. I'm gonna wait until this.
There's always an excuse that makes sense as to why you shouldn't do it.
Exactly.
And it's like, oh man, will I do good at it?
Yeah.
Will the money come in? What if I lose money? Do you know what I mean? So there's always that excuse, isn't it?
Yeah. So it's the comfortable that killed a lot of my drive.
Yeah.
That's what I would say. But right now, I'm not comfortable. I'm in a position where I'm pushing myself.
Yeah.
I'm making myself, what's the word? Uncomfortable.
Right.
Very uncomfortable.
Right.
And when I'm uncomfortable, I make things happen.
Right. I'm with you.
Do you know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Because a lot of people tend to think that, for lack of a better word, they think that money is everything, and once you have money, you shouldn't want.
Yeah.
But one thing I've noticed, especially with myself, is the fact that, I wouldn't say I'm rich. However, I'm comfortable.
Yeah, 100%.
But there's more drive to me than physical money.
Yeah.
So I'm coming from. And a lot of people might look at you and think, oh yeah, you got Rolly, you drive a nice car, you live in a decent house, you've got, 20 something properties to your name. What else do you want?
Yeah.
But there is still that element of building a legacy.
100%.
That, fair enough, the money is just a reflection of how hard you've worked.
Yeah.
It's just a trophy to show how many competitions you've been in and so on and so forth. But, which is still an important element of life, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
However, I feel like the drive, the accomplishment of the goals is more of a, do you know what I mean? It's more of an oomph as to why, do you know what I mean? Like when you look back at yourself, you're like, look at this house, like I did this. When you look at it, that's the thing.
That feeling is amazing.
I know.
Like if you're in the process or you haven't invested in property yet, but 100% you will. Yeah, I'm telling you that you will.
Yeah.
When you get those keys and when you do what you need to do with it, and then you look at the end, it's gonna be like, wow, I've done this. Like it's an amazing feeling, 100%. And that feeling, it's just I want more of that.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm with you. That's what it is, man. That's what it is. So yeah, we're reaching a stage whereby we've got to, get there with the interview and just cut it short in a sense. So guys, once again, if you've enjoyed this chat that we've been having or we've had, once again, subscribe to the channel. If you want to see more of these sort of conversations with, other property investors and property owners, and funny enough, I've actually got a decent interview coming for you guys. Trust me, you would definitely want to see this one. To conclude, right, with yourself.
Yeah.
You did mention as well that your forthcoming projects that you've got going, you would like to welcome in further investors as well. So how do you plan on doing that? Like, are you open to people? Say for instance, if I've got once again 30, 40 odd K, 20K, maybe even 10K, and sitting in my account, I've got nothing planned for it within the next 2 years. Can you do something with that? Can I come to you with that funds? Like, what have you got going at the moment?
If you have funds sitting there not doing anything, reach out to me on Insta and we can have a conversation and we can try and make something happen as well.
Brilliant. That's decent stuff. So yeah, guys, you've heard it here. So once again, so what exactly is your Instagram for those who don't know?
Yeah, so my Instagram is I am Muiz Official.
Brilliant.
So I'll just let you know there's only one.
All right then. So yeah, look, there we go, guys. You've got it right here. Amazing chat with you, bro. And once again, as I told you, right to your face, bro. You're one of the guys killing it right now within the property industry. I appreciate that. And I really do wish you well, bro. Keep on doing what you're doing, and you're inspiring more people than you actually realize. Coming from, like I said to you, that guy right there, at work, doing what he's doing at work there, but he knows, he can be doing something, within property, and that's his drive. And that's, maybe it's not even within property, but it's within the business that they run or whatever. But just seeing someone such as yourself, so young, black young man, came right at the ends, you've got property. Bruv, like I said to you, you've got property in Lewisham, you've got property in Brixton, all of them places there. Back in the days, yeah? Fam, you know them ones. You can't be going Brixton from Lewisham. Or
I know.
You can't do them things there. But this is the thing, now you're owning houses in these postcodes we used to wreck. Do you get me? That's a big thing right there,
And just to add to that.
That's big.
But to add to that, and I guess this is a message to the young guys or young females who are active in postcode wars or beef or whatever. You don't own it.
You don't own it.
So
why are you dying for what you don't own, bro?
It don't make no sense. You know what I'm saying? So I'd rather own the proproperties or own a street or own something.
And I still won't die for it.
I won't die. That's it.
No, I'm with you. So yeah, guys, look, as I said, comment, like, subscribe, do all of them things right there, yeah? And as for now, we're out. Peace.